Hello and welcome to Healing Tips from the Heart, Intuition with Helpers, Healers, and Guides. I am your host, Dr. Lori Hops, licensed psychologist, writer, and artist. I've explored mind, body, and spirit related to intuition, or your personal guidance system, since early childhood. Meet my guests who have learned from their personal and professional lives to explore vast realms of knowing, synchronicities, and overcoming challenges. Their stories may inspire you with tools to enhance your daily living and relationships. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you and share this special episode with you. It's a brief summary of the first 25 episodes of Healing Tips from the Heart, Intuition with Helpers, Healers, and Guides. I'm Dr. Lori Hops, and I've been recording these videos now since August of 2023. And so it's been a year, and we have 25 wonderful podcast interviews, and you may have caught some or all of them, but I wanted to give you a quick summary and overview so you can go by topic and see if there's something that you've missed or that you'd like to watch again that you may have interest in. And so here we go. So first off, I'd like to tell you about the most common interview topic, which is on energy practices. And we have 9 people who have spoken about energy tapping or energy psychology or other related energy practices. And I will give you the names and the topics and the numbers so that you can go back and look at the different episodes. So we have Craig Weiner, who's a chiropractor, and he's episode number 3. We have Joan Kaler, who talked about obsessive compulsive disorder, episode 9. We have on veterans and military families, tools for decision making with Amy Frost, and that's episode 14. We have one on youth and children with examples of how to use energy practices, and that is Carrie Versalini on episode 15. We have Larry Burke, who talked about dreams and cancer with energy practices. That's episode 19. We have energy psychology founder Fred Gallo on episode 20. Lori Layden talked in episode 22 about using energy practices around the world in Rwanda, Newtown, Parkland, and other places. We have Tapas Fleming, founder of Tapas Acupressure Technique, on episode 21. And we have ACEP founder David Gruder on episode 23. So that's 9 people talking about energy practices. The next is topics about cancer. And here we have 4 people. Hoda Alfaqui on episode 24 spoke about nutrition and the Bankston method related to healing herself with cancer and others. Carol Westaway talked about her personal journey on episode 12, recovering from cancer. Yanni Duma as well, her personal experience using different energy practices, and that is episode 18. And Larry Burke talked about how dreams, energy practices, and cancer connect with a study that he was involved with, and that's episode 19. Next, we have 3 people who gave demonstrations with sound healing or talked about how sound healing is used with energy practices. And that is Rachel Michelson in episode 5, Greg Carpenter in episode 11, and Stella Davies in episode 25. We have 3 wonderful people who talked about the practice of logosynthesis or moving energy using words, including the founder of Logosynthesis, Willem Lammers, in our very first episode, episode number 1, Kathy Caswell, in talking about logosynthesis with everyday life practices, and that's episode 10, and Yanni Duma, again in episode 18, talking about using logosynthesis with her experience with cancer and other topics. We also have 3 people that talked about consciousness and shamanism, and that's Adriana Popescu in episode 4, and she talked about many other practices as well, but really dove into consciousness and shamanism. Seth Butcher in episode 6, who talked about his personal experiences with transpersonal episodes and understanding different layers of consciousness. And Stella Davies, who works with consciousness and shamanism, and that's episode 25. We have 2 wonderful interviews that talk about the world impact with healing. And one of them is Lori Layden, who I already mentioned in episode 22, with her extensive work around the world in Australia and other places. And Brenda Small, who talks about children's heart surgeries around the world with Gift of Life International. And she is in episode 17. She also talks about her personal journey and her family and how healing helped with her daughter's congenital heart issues and how that helped move things forward for her and her family. We have one stellar interview from Maria Lamardo, episode 2, on medical intuition, which is quite a popular topic. And so I encourage you to check that out. We also have a very deep and personal conversation with Sherry O'Brien, episode 7, on grief. There is a lot of exercise and movement with energy practices for Michelle Greenwell in episode 8. And Alina Frank talks about intimacy and energy practices, sharing from her personal experience and also other ways that she has taught people how to use energy practices. And that's episode 13. Carrie Versalini in episode 15 talks about youth, all about treatments with youth and how to use energy practices with younger people. And as I mentioned, Larry Burke, episode 19 talks about dreams. I have psychiatrist Carrie Hausman, who talks about ketamine therapy and its interface with mental health treatment. Fascinating new area of discovery, and in our field, we're going to be hearing a lot more, and that's episode 16. And we also have a beautiful presentation from David Gruder, episode 23, on creativity and love. So that is a very brief description of the first 25 episodes. You can see all of them at hopshealingtips.com, on Spotify and YouTube, Healing Tips from the Heart, Intuition with Helpers, Healers, and Guides. But that's not all. I also wanted to say coming what is next. So I continue to record episodes coming up, releasing 2 a month on the first of the month. And coming through the next part of 2024 and into 2025, get a load of some of these wonderful interview topics: psychological depth, astrology, energy practices and infertility, autism and energy practices, wellness enhancement using Bankston method and naturopathy, healing from the body level up with founder of that method. We'll talk about moral injury and forgiveness, psychedelic experiences with psychotherapy, creative inspiration through dance, Eden energy medicine and tracking your energies, exploring Gaia consciousness, and fearless public speaking, and more. So please stay tuned. You can always read the program notes that have a detailed description of each episode and a long list of links that are related to the topics that we've covered. So thank you so much. Please, if you like these episodes, subscribe and comment and share your thoughts. And you can always reach me at drlorihops@gmail.com. Thank you all so much, and see you at the next episode. Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. If you want to learn more, you can visit my website for podcast and resources at hopshealingtips.com. You can also like, share, and subscribe to this channel. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and is not providing healthcare advice. Please seek guidance from your professional healthcare team should you need assistance.